Right, today I want to talk to you about fitting in a sketchbook practice into your life and how you might want to do that, how I do that, and just share some thoughts about how a sketchbook has to match you where you are. Whatever's going on in your life will dictate what you're able to do in your sketchbook. Now, it might appear that I am always working in my sketchbook. I'm a full-time artist, but the reality is really not that at all. I'm often finding kind of snatched moments and windows of time and taking time from something else to just have a little tiny moment to myself in my sketchbook. So it might be when I'm waiting for pasta to cook, or on a train somewhere, and I'll just be doing a really kind of scribbly drawing with a biro pen. And that's just sometimes the reality of life. And I just wanted to show you this sketchbook here. This is my ginormous sketchbook. It's an it's an A3 sketchbook, sorry. But when you open it up, it becomes A2, so it's quite large. But this I call my sofa sketchbook. So everything in this sketchbook I have fairly much, bar a couple of pages, I fairly much created whilst I'm sitting on the sofa with my husband, chatting to him, watching television, listening to a podcast. And it's just the time of my day that I have some opportunity to work in a sketchbook, and that has therefore dictated what I do in this sketchbook. So I'm not getting out loads of paint and big pots of ink and brushes, and I'm not doing any of those things in this sketchbook because I'm sat in the sofa. So I'm using materials which I can use without making a big mess. So it might be coloured pencils, or I've used a lot of pencil from Derwent called Inktense pencils, which go on dry, and then I add a little bit of water with a water brush. So I'm not even using a pot of water and a brush because I'm sitting in our living room and I don't want to have, paint everywhere. So a sketchbook practice has to meet you where you are. If you have very little time, it has to be simple materials that don't need a lot of prep, that don't need a lot of cleanup, and it will also influence what you're creating in your sketchbook. So for example, when I'm sat on the sofa wanting to work in my sketchbook, I'm looking around me and I'm taking the things I can see in the room and I'm using them as a springboard. So I'm not drawing really accomplished observational drawings at all. I'm doing a 20-second scribble, looking at what I can see in the room, taking those sorts of shapes, the simple shapes from what I can see, placing them on a page, and then I'm adding colour and pattern, and I'm not wanting to create a super realistic rendition of what I'm seeing because I haven't got the attention span at that moment to be able to do that. So I really just wanted to say that a sketchbook can be whatever you need it to be and can fit into your life in whichever way you can make it work. So a 10-minute scribble or sketch whilst you're waiting for your tea to cook, or an afternoon of playing with paint and cutting up and really kind of going to town. But I find personally that little and often helps me. So if I go for a week or 10 days without working in my sketchbook, I feel a little bit disconnected from my own kind of creativity and my own sort of source of creativity. I find that my sketchbook is like a kind of a creative conversation with myself, and the more I can keep that going on a regular basis, the easier it is, and I think the better able I am to tap into what I'm wanting to express, what I'm wanting to create. So I find personally that little and often helps me to really keep the momentum going. So I just wanted to share a little bit about fitting in a sketchbook into your life and really just doing whatever you are able to do, I think, is a very lovely, nurturing, creative act.